Hi everyone. First of all, the light is reflecting on my glasses. Well, there we go, a little bit orange light there. Nice little homie. You guys, I have to tell you something. So I was watching this video about I don't know what the hell. Okay, so I went on like this, I was bored and I was like going on like a binge of YouTube and stuff. I was watching like Abroad in Japan, and then like one of the videos in the recommended was like a man with 7-second memory, worst case of amnesia ever, etc, etc, etc. And I was like, I'm gonna watch this today. I think it was like 50 minutes or something. I watched it and I was like, oh my god. So what gave me the idea of like what got me thinking was one of the things they said, his wife was talking and she was like, the interviewer was like, does he read books or anything like that? And she was like, no, he can't read because he'll forget like the previous sentence and he'll have to go back over it and he'll just never get through it. And they were like, can he watch TV? And she was like, not really. I mean, he can watch like cricket and whatever else they watch in Britain, like what? He can watch that stuff, but he doesn't actually know what's going on, and like with a show he can't keep up with the narrative and the plot and whatever's going on, so he doesn't watch that stuff. And I started thinking, like, I can do all that stuff, right? Like, I can read a book. If I want to read a book, I want to, like, I got this book over here. I bought this like months ago. I bought this months ago. Never read it because I had this cryptid obsession that like lasted for a minute, which is obviously, if you look at my YouTube handle, it's at CT Cryptid. So I was into cryptids for a second. But I had to stop because I was going insane with cryptid stuff. So, but I was like, I felt like I gotta like escape from reality. I gotta find safe ways to escape from reality because I told my parents about this dream that I had, and I was in an airport, and basically I was being followed by these guys. I decided to run off on my own. I was being followed by these guys, and I was like, I found this teacher, and I was like, you gotta help me out being followed. And she was like, you just ruined my carpet, because I stepped on her carpet. So I was like, okay, damn. And I like finally escaped because the guy fell asleep, and I like ran. I sound like I'm on crack right now. I ran like past all these doors, and I was like, and I was opening all the doors, but then there was this one door. It was purple, and I couldn't open it because just at the top, like the paint had just dried and like sealed it. And I was like, oh, and I woke up because I was so stressed. I woke up. Sometimes that happens. I'm just like so stressed in my dreams that I wake up. Is this better lighting or worse? No, it makes me look so greasy. That'll do. Anyway. Ooh. So, what I was talking about was, I'm making this video about my memory. It's been bothering me, I swear to God. I'm being quiet because it's 3 o'clock in the morning right now. It's been bothering me. It's almost every day now. Like, I notice it multiple times every day where I'm just like, I'm not myself. Like why can't I, like, articulating words have been really hard for me lately. The only reason that I can, like, say stuff that makes sense is because I say it in my head over and over and over again. So, like, I don't know. But it's just, like, talking is, like, I've noticed, like, I remember I started saying it a while ago, but, like, talking specifically is hard for me. Like, making sense when I talk, I don't know why. I just have difficulty with it. However, it's not my brain because I can, like, write stuff down. I did a lot of journaling. That's one of the reasons I think I'm really good at research essays, is because, I can get all this information and I can just, like, I remember all the information and I get passionate about something and I can just write all of it down. And it's easy to just, like, look up stuff, like, objectively. But if something happens in my life where it's like, Sam, recall what happened, like, 3 days ago, I just, like, honestly, like if I look back at the calendar and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this happened on this day and, like, etc, etc. But, like, on the spot, if you put me on the spot, I'm like, yo, I don't even know when my birthday is. I don't even know. Obviously I'm being dramatic, but I just noticed, I was like I feel like it's getting worse, like, to a point where it's like I'm noticing it every day, where I'm like, why is this happening? And it would freak me out, like, a lot. Like, I made a couple videos. Ooh, whoa, there's a big fat spider that's just chilling in the corner of my dresser and my little amp. Well, I guess I'll let it live. So, what was I talking about? I don't know. I can't remember, but, so I realized what it was. It's my, focus. It's my, attention span. And the reason I realized this was because I was thinking back and I was like, I remember something that Evan asked me for some reason. I don't remember why he asked me it, but he was like, how much of My Little Pony do you remember? And I said like, 50%. But what does 50% even mean? Because if you were like, Sam, recall 50% of every episode, like, what do you expect me to do? I can't do that. Or if like some people can like recall names of like a bunch of episodes and like they can, like Evan, he can just like pick out specific things, be like, I like this about this, I remember this episode. I'm just like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But if you like tell me about like, you remember this episode, and then you go through the thing and you prompt me, I'll be like, yeah, I remember that. But if you just like throw it at me, I'm just like, I don't know what is happening right now. I don't know what's going on. So I realized what happens is when I watch something, specifically when I watch something, what happens is like I'm watching it, but then something like throws me off, or like I start thinking about something else, and then it causes like a little spot in my memory where I'm like, why the fuck am I not following anymore? Because like I feel like, because like when I would talk to my therapist, one of the questions they ask sometimes, it's like once a month kind of thing, they have to do a check-in, and it's like, do you have trouble focusing watching TV? Can you like, most of the time it's like, can you focus on things, like do you have issues watching TV? And I'm always like, no, I've never had issues watching TV, because I always assumed it was like, oh, I'm watching something, but no, I'm bored, so I'm gonna do something else. That's what I thought that meant. But I'm thinking back on it, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, I always have issues focusing on things. That's why I rewatch things so much. That's why I had to rewatch K-pop Demon Hunters so many times, because every time I watch it, it's like I pick up something new because I blacked out at that moment because I was thinking about something else. Even if it's really small, if it's like, oh, I should draw that. That would be a nice scene to draw. Or like, I really like those colors. Or like, this reminds me of this specific time. It just happens in my head, and then it causes just like a little spot. And then it's like, whoa, what happened in this part of the movie? Because I was thinking about something else. And I realized that happens a lot. That happens in a lot of situations, a lot of points in my life. And I think what's happening is I have been spending a lot of time trying to escape reality. And as things get, especially like this, it started to get really bad around COVID, and COVID was very stressful and traumatizing for me. And a lot of bad things happened there, obviously, because of the pandemic and stuff like that. And it was just around then, and also I blame myself a lot for my memory issues because I was vaping weed a lot. And the thing is, if you're a functioning adult, it doesn't really cause a lot of memory issues. It depends on like how much you use and stuff like that. Again, not to get into weed conspiracy again, because fucking, but the issue that I had was I was a kid with an underdeveloped brain, and using any kind of drug, even if it's like nicotine or something, it messes with your brain because you're a child and you're underdeveloped. So with like weed, it messes with your memory center and your focus. So I was like, I fucked it. I fucked myself up for life. I'm gonna be fucked forever because I was vaping weed for a year and a half. Well, probably about 2 years, but I was addicted for a year and a half. So, I thought for sure that's what it was. But in the back of my head, I was like, I have ADHD. I know people with like ADHD got like memory issues too, so maybe it's that. But I didn't want to like take the blame off of me. You know, I was like, I gotta accept that I made mistakes in my past. But I've been thinking now that like, cause a lot of my memory issues and stuff, it got better like after I quit weed and stuff like that, and I stopped smoking and everything like that. And it got a lot better, and I was so happy because I was like, oh my god, finally I can think, and like I can, like the reason that I stopped making videos back then, like if you notice in my old channel, right around COVID, stopped making videos, not only because I ran out of like, I had no more passion because I was just so depressed, but also I just couldn't speak at all. Unless you were like in front of me and I was talking to you about something. If I was like looking at my camera, I just could not connect areas of my brain to make speech. It was just like, shit, what was I talking about? And then I was like, never mind, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. And then it's just like, I have a couple videos of me, like, I'm sure I'm probably high in the videos. I don't remember, I was just like high all the time. So I don't really remember how often I wasn't stoned, but most of those videos I'm there's a video on there that, actually, that wasn't when I was high, that was another time. So maybe, I don't know, but I have videos that's like, it's me being like, so, that's just the whole video. And I'm like, oh, I gotta end this recording, I forgot. That's just like the whole thing. I have videos on my computer of that. But when I was a kid, I made videos when I was a kid. Like the earliest video I have that I made of myself, probably 9 years old. My ADHD was so bad back then. And I'm surprised, I think my mom was caught up with the fact that I had bipolar disorder and it was starting to get bad around that time, around puberty. That's when it started to get really bad. That like ADHD wasn't that much of a problem and I wasn't like having issues in school at all really. But when I made videos, dude, I was watching me and I was just like, oh my god. Like it was just like crazy. Just like random impulses, random thoughts, doing random things, just like all of a sudden bursts of energy. It's just like, oh my god. I was like, how the fuck did people, how did no one know that I had ADHD as a child? Because, you know, I've seen other kids, you know, it's not like I've never seen, it's not like this behavior is, like, I knew that behavior wasn't normal. My brother didn't do anything like that either. I was just fucking crazy. And you know, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be a hypocrite right now. Because I hate it so much. I hate it so much. This happens with autism all the time. People take the tiniest quirk that they have and they're like, it's gotta be enter mental illness. That's gotta be what it is. Like, you can have a trait that's a little bit quirky and it's not mental illness. Because, like, I had my friend, I was talking to my friend, I was chilling with her, and she was like, yeah, my boyfriend, because we were talking about her abusive fucking boyfriend, and I was like, girl, break up with him, and she was like, well, it's just like, he has BPD, just like me, and I just, like, I know what it's like, and even though he yells at me, and he freaks out on me, and he tries to tell me I'm the worst person ever sometimes, a lot of the times, actually, I love him inside, and I love who he is, and I'm just like, oh. That's another whole conversation about, oh my fucking god, I was so mad. I was like, girl. Anyway, but she was talking to me and she was like, my boyfriend told me that, like, I might have autism because, like, he has autism and he said that I have a lot of traits of autism. And I was like, yeah, you know, a lot of people actually have traits of autism. And I was like, sometimes people throw that around. They say they have autism a lot. Autism is not funny. I've seen what it does to people untreated. I've seen how people treat autistic people. Like, it's not like a fun thing. And just like society, it just like has no idea how to comprehend these very intricate mental issues. And she was like, well, like, ever since I was a kid, like, I had trouble making friends. And I was like, girl, me too. That's why we're friends. That's why we've been friends for like fucking 8 years, because we can't make friends. She was like, well, I have like issues with like certain fabrics and like senses and stuff like that. Like, I have sensory issues. And I was like, girl, me too. But ADHD is a lot more common. And I would say she's definitely, well, I don't know. I can't say because she doesn't have like focus or anything like that, like me. But there's definitely a bigger chance she has ADHD. But, dude, people do that all the time. It pisses me off so much. It pissed me off so much. Because I have friends with real autism. And they are not, they're lovely people. But the world does not treat them nicely. And it's so sad to see. So when I see people be like, guys, autism is serious. That's why it takes so long to get a diagnosis. That's why I don't have a diagnosis. And I've been told by my own autistic friends, Sam, you might have autism. And I was like, nah, bro. And then one day, what the fuck? I don't know if I was imagining this or if this really happened. I'm pretty sure this actually happened. Oh, no. This was a different day. So never mind. That was a different day. But I remember coming home. I was like, this wasn't with my friend, so it doesn't make sense, but, I was, like, hanging out with my friends, and I had a therapy appointment for some reason in the middle of our hangout. I was at my friend Sean's house, and I was like, gotta go, besties. I'll BRB, gotta go to my fucking therapy appointment. And I came back, you know, I went, and I was expecting that they were gonna tell me I have autism. I don't know, I was gonna mention to my therapist that, like, my friends think I have autism. She was like, I don't know if you do, really. I was like, okay, I guess I'll take that for an answer. She was like, you could, I don't know. And I was like, okay, thank you, Danielle. But, then, it was like a few days later or something, I got, a diagnosis for ADHD, which was very easy to get. So, you know, I don't really, for a long time I questioned, I was like, do you have ADHD really? Because, like, every time I get a diagnosis, I'm like, nah, that doesn't make sense, you know? I'm like, nah, I'm, like, in a state of denial for some reason. Like, what was it? You know, I was, for a long time, specifically around COVID, and I've talked about this before, but there was a very big stigma around mental illness diagnoses, and pretending that you had a disorder, which pisses me off to this day, because this is why people do this shit about autism too. It pisses me off, dude. Anyway, but, around COVID time, I was, like, I was really depressed, and I had bipolar disorder, which I've had since birth, and all I knew was I had been diagnosed with anxiety, so, like, all the terrible shit I was going through, I was just like, just anxiety disorder, obviously. Like, I was pushing it off because I didn't want to bring up to my therapist, like, hey, I think I might have depression, you know, I think I might have depression right now, because I just didn't want to, like, I didn't want to be that person that's so fucking annoying that I hate so much to this day, where they treat it like it's, like, just, like, a thing you can just throw around, like, it's, like, serious. So I didn't want to bring it up. It was until I had to start, calling suicide hotlines that, they had someone come out. They had, I think it was 2 nurses or 2, like, clinic people. They came out to my house, and they were talking to me, and they were like, so blank 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 about your depression, and I was like, I didn't know I had depression, and they were like, yeah, you have depression. So I was like, oh. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I went to the psych ward, and they diagnosed me with major psychotic depression. Big sparkly words there. Major psychotic depression, which basically just means I had severe depression with bouts of, like, delusion, or not really understanding my reality in those times. Very scary. Now what we've discovered it as is bipolar disorder, and unfortunately sometimes with bipolar disorder, when you go into, like, mania, or, like, hypomania, or, like, really big lows and ups and downs, like, sometimes it's I don't know how to explain some of the things that I've seen from my own head. I don't think that's depression. I think it's a little bit, which is why I thought for a while, I was like, maybe I'm schizophrenic, like, maybe there's something wrong with me, dude. And my therapist was like, I don't think so. So I was like, okay. So yeah, the major psychotic depression was the diagnosis for that time. It was 2021. That was when I think that's when I came back from the hospital. So I don't know, but I think it was probably March or April of 2021. I remember that really well. And then it was like, it was like the summer of 2021 where I was talking to my psychiatrist, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And my mom was, like, with me because I was, like, 17, I think. No, I'm so stupid. I was not 17. I was 15, I believe, when I got the diagnosis. I was 15. And my mom was like, hey, bipolar disorder runs in my fucking family, and for years I've been trying to tell the doctors that my daughter has bipolar disorder, you know, because it runs in the family, you know, and he was like, oh shit, that makes a lot of sense. This has become just a whole video about mental health at this point. I've gone off the rails, but I'll talk about it. And he was like, oh shit, dude, that makes so much sense, bro. But he was like, but I can't legally diagnose her. And my mom was like, why? And, well, she didn't ask why. I asked why, because she already knew. But he said, we can't legally diagnose her until she's 18 because it's hard to tell whether or not her mood swings are because of, like, puberty or, like, some other factors of growing up and stuff like that. And my mom was like, because she was told the same thing when I was a kid. They were like, we cannot diagnose her with bipolar disorder because she's too young. Like, which is so fucking crazy, by the way. So crazy. I should have been going to therapy for bipolar disorder, but I was going more for, like, anxiety, I think. But I was, like, insane, so I wouldn't talk to anyone, and I'd just, like, freeze up, and they'd just be like, fuck it. I remember, I'm pretty sure one of my therapists actually gave up on me. I can't really remember because it was so long ago. I think it was, like, it was either 4th grade. I think it was 4th grade. I started going to therapy because of, like, the bomb threat thing and everything like that, you know, threatening to kill people, you know, that shit, you know what 4th graders do, dude? But, I had a therapist or something, and I was just like, I was a kid with anxiety, dude, and I didn't want to talk to anyone because I was scared, and she was just getting upset at me. She was like, I can't help you unless you talk to me, and I'm pretty sure I remember she dropped me because I wasn't talking to her, and I got a new therapist. And I've been with Danielle, my therapist, for God knows how long, dude. At least 2020, so at least 5 years, but it could be longer. I just don't really remember exactly. I'll have to ask her. I was supposed to have an appointment yesterday because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning at this point, or 3 o'clock, 3:30. But I still don't have my insurance set up, which is fucking bad because I'm supposed to have a psychiatrist appointment at, first of all, oh no, I got 2 appointments coming up soon. Anyway, I'm supposed to see my new psychiatrist, by the way, November 19th, because we're trying to change my medicine up, because I thought for sure, I was like, cause like, I'm sure, the thing is, I know I talked about this already, but I didn't upload the videos because I was so distraught and just depressed about everything because I thought my brain was gone. I was just like, I can't find the reason as to why I'm having these memory issues. And the thing is that I found that if I'm more stressed and I'm more depressed, my memory gets worse and my speech gets slower and I don't make sense of anything anymore and I just become like a blob. So in those videos, especially the one I made last time, which was like a week, no, it was longer than a week. It was like October 20 something or something. I made a video and it was like an hour and a half long. And it was just me like just trying to it was just me being like, I'm just like just and I was just so depressed. I was so upset because I was watching videos from Soft White Underbelly. He's like his specifically the Skid Row, I think it's Los Angeles, Skid Row CA videos where he like interviews, like this one in particular, he was interviewing a trans woman prostitute. I think she was a prostitute. I don't know, but she was on crystal meth. She was on crystal meth, and the way like she was talking, I was like, I remember when I used to have energy like that, and I used to be able to talk like that, and I can't talk like that anymore. And that's what got me so depressed, that I was like, I can't explain to normal people how this feels, how it feels like I'm like noticing me losing my mind, and I can't do anything about it. So it's like, it was freaking me the fuck out, and I was really depressed about it, and I don't know how to talk to anyone about it, because no one else understands. What do you expect me to do? Go in the group chat? Hey guys, sorry, just realized that like I got really depressed because I was watching a crack addict talk, and I was like, I don't talk like that anymore. And like I'm losing my memory and shit. I'm going crazy. What do you what should I expect them to say to that? Other than, Sam, you need help. Like, I know. I'm working on that. But that's why I don't really like, it's weird and it's hard to explain, especially like over text. Some of the stuff is like really touchy and hard to talk about. Hard to explain, really. So like talking, like, I just give up. I'm just like, whatever. It's easier to make a YouTube video. It's easier for you to like look me in the eyes and just like watch me like rant about bullshit and like pretend that you understand. At least I can try to convey to you that the things that were going on in my life. And also, I'm able to focus without like anything else going on. You know, I'm just able to focus on what I'm doing. That's why a lot of times I look at myself in the it's hard for me to focus like just on the camera because it looks really weird to me. But if I look at myself in the viewfinder, I'm like, I don't know if it would help to make direct eye contact or not. I feel like it wouldn't, but I can watch myself and I feel like I'm talking to someone else, which is really weird sensation. But yo, I've been doing this for 10 years now. I've been making YouTube videos for 10 years. I'm a veteran, okay? I know how it's like. So, yeah. So, basically, I already take ADHD medicine, but, oh, you know what? That's a good idea. Oh, shit. Wait. Yes! I got it! I know. Okay. So, I was freaking out a couple days ago because I ran out of my pills, my lamotrigine, my mood stabilizers. And guys, you think it's bad now? Go back. Actually, I don't even know if No, I don't know if I made videos about it or not. I can't remember. I have videos on my channel of me like sobbing like uncontrollably and just like, but I can't remember if I was off my pills or not. But I'm thinking of a particular moment a while ago. It had to have been like 2023. Right? I think it was like 2023, so like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago maybe. I was talking to my old psychiatrist and I was like, dude, I'm so tired lately. I'm so tired. I don't know why. And it was really bad. Like it was affecting school. I was like sleeping constantly at school. When I would come home, I would immediately crash. I'd sleep all day until I woke up for school, and then I'd sleep at school more. I was doing nothing but sleeping. I was sleeping like 18 hours a day. It was fucking crazy. And I was losing my mind. And I would wake up and I would be like, it's the next day. Go to sleep, it's the next day. I had like nothing. I was doing nothing. And I'm pretty sure I was losing a bunch of weight too because I was sleeping all day and I wasn't eating. So I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? And then I'm pretty sure I must have, no, there's no way. No, there had to have been, yeah, okay. And I was also passing out. It had to be, yeah, I remember now. I was passing out too. I remember passing out for the first time in my shower. It was really humid, and I think that's what did it. It was hot and it was humid, and there wasn't a lot of oxygen. Because, like, I think what happens, I might be wrong, but from what I'm pretty sure happens is if there's a lot of, like, wetness and a lot of heat in a room, it, like, the oxygen goes away, it goes somewhere, and it just doesn't get absorbed into your lungs as well. So it was just so fucking, like, it was so crazy. It was really scary, but at the same time it was like, you can't do anything. Like you're like you're debilitated. So what was happening was I was in the shower and I was like, I must have bent down or something, or maybe I was just standing. I don't know what happened, but I was about to pass out because I had iron deficiency, and I was standing and I was like, whoa. So I knelt down because like my vision was going black and I was like, oh my god. And I tried calling out to my brother, but like I had like no oxygen, so I couldn't really speak. So I was just like, Damien, help. And I fell over and I had a dream, and I had a dream about a girl. I had a dream about a girl with blonde hair. And then I woke up and I did that anime thing where it's like, and you look at your hands and you're like, I'm alive. Where am I? And I was like, what happened? I woke up like I was like on the ground of my shower. If I were to guess, I was only out for like a couple seconds, maybe a minute at most. It couldn't have been long, because what happens is when you lay down, all the blood goes back to your brain. It like floods your brain, so you get more oxygen. For some reason that works. I don't know. But it woke me up and I was like, holy shit. So I like finished my shower, I got out, and I was like, I don't know what happened. I don't even know, like, I had no idea. I was so scared. So that was happening, and I was pissed because I didn't know why this was happening, and I was freaking out. And guys, it's gonna be crazy. Okay, but I want to talk about this because whenever I talk about iron deficiency, I get excited. Because the craziest fucking thing happened. I remember this clear as day. So, for some reason, we were eating a turkey or something, and we had a wishing bone left. And me and my brother, we were playing Hades. So it was like, it had to have been like September, November or something. Maybe it was around Thanksgiving time, I don't remember. But we had a wishing bone left, and I went up to my brother and I was like, let's make a wish. And obviously whoever gets the biggest piece gets their wish. So I have insomnia. So we were playing Hades a lot, and the character I really liked the most, his name was Hypnos, and he's the god of sleep. And I am also, I'm thinking about it more now, but especially at the time, I was very pagan, and I was very into Greek mythology, and I was especially very attached to Dionysus, and I was also trying to work with Aphrodite and stuff like that, but I was like, she does not like me. So, I broke the wishbone, I got a big piece, and I was like, I made a joke to my brother, I was like, the fuck was it? I was like, I really just wish that Hypnos would grant me a good night's sleep. And we had a nice little laugh about it. And I was like, that's so funny. Next day, I had iron deficiency was so bad. It was so fucking bad. I started praying. I was like, I'm so sorry for fucking with forces that I do not understand. I am so sorry. I was like, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again, dude. I'm so sorry. I was like, I believe in God. I was like, this is fucking crazy. Because it like backfired on me. I felt like Hypnos was like, oh, you think this is a game? Think you can just fuck with me like that and call upon my powers like that? Over a wishbone? Fuck you. And he just blasted me with iron deficiency. It was crazy timing. And I was so scared, and I was just like, I was so pissed off. And for some reason, I thought, you know what it's gotta be? It's gotta be my pills. It's gotta be the pills that I'm taking because that's making me super sleepy. That's gotta be what it is. And my doctor was like, it's not. They don't cause sleepiness. And I was like, what's gonna happen if I stop taking them? And he was like, don't stop taking them. Bad things will happen. Don't stop taking them. It's not worth it. And I felt like I was really stressed out. I was really pissed off. I was really distressed. And him telling me no just made it worse. So I was like, okay. Once we got off that call, I stopped taking my medicine for like maybe 3 or 4 days. It might have been longer, but it wasn't like longer than a week or anything like that. Like immediately after like 2 days or so. 2 days is like the threshold. If I miss it for 1 day, sometimes I'll have a really bad day the next day. Sometimes nothing happens, which is unfortunately the reality of bipolar disorder. But if you stop taking the medicine, which is the problem, if you stop taking it immediately, you will crash and you'll have terrible episodes, which is what happened. And I remember just like, what ended up happening was I was outside and I was just sobbing my fucking eyes out, and I was on the grass and I was sobbing for so long, and I wanted to go back inside because for some reason I wanted to go back inside. I just wanted to be in my bed and be alone, and the door was locked. I tried getting in from the back door. Actually, I think I tried getting in from the front at first. So I think my dad closed the door on me for some reason while I was outside because they were upset at me for crying so much and being a bitch. So my dad closed the door on me, and I tried opening it. It was locked. I went around the back side. It was also locked. I freaked the fuck out. I had a crazy moment of anger. Punched the glass pane that's down there, and it's still broken. The glass pane is still broken down there. We've been covering it with thick paper and like newspaper and stuff that we get in the mail because I broke it. And it's terrible because it's like just like the feelings come over so fast that like you can't think about what's happening. You just like, you only know you have an objective and you're freaking out, but you're gonna get it. And the reason I punched the window was because I wanted to get inside. So for some reason in my cracked out brain, I thought I'd punch through the window, I'd open the door and just go inside and everything would be fine. But obviously you're not really thinking when you're insane. And I was already crying out there for a very long time. And my parents do this thing where they think for some reason that if you leave someone alone while they're in distress, they'll just get over it. And my parents did that a lot to me and my brother. And it definitely caused him a lot of issues because he's very distant now. And we've talked about it. And we were like, bro, we know that this was from our upbringing. Okay, we can't do this. We can't continue the cycle. And we were like, yeah, dude, I know. So we try and talk to each other now and we have issues. But my point is, they left me alone. And that's really bad, obviously, especially with someone with bipolar disorder. They left me alone and I was crying outside and I just freaked out. I broke the window. And, I think, yeah, I broke the window and I think my mom or my dad opened the door. No, they didn't. I broke the window, I looked inside, they both stood up there like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, oh, I made a mistake. So I got on my bike, rode down to my friend Sean's house, and I was like, yo. So I just freaked out with my parents, I can't go back home. And they were sitting around and they were like, Sam, we cannot keep you here. You gotta go home, you gotta talk to them. And I was like, shit, I don't want to though. And then I don't remember what happened after that. We had a conversation about something. Pretty sure I started taking my medicine again after that. But moral of the story, that's what happens when you stop taking your medicine. So look forward to that. That's all another reason why I'm scared of, first of all, pregnancy. Because I'm gonna have to stop taking my pills, dude. And that's a little scary. Because even though, like, they say there's nothing wrong with it, they say that, like, being on lamotrigine is fine if you're pregnant, I don't want to take any risks, dude. I don't want to take any goddamn risks. Even if it's fine, I just don't want to take any risks, okay? Because, like, there are side effects to taking medicine as an adult. And we don't know how it impacts a little baby. And in the long term. Not just like, because I know that like they get like cleft palate and stuff if you take it within the first term, so there's that. Also, again, November 19th, a few days, I'm supposed to see my psychiatrist and we're supposed to lower my dose a little bit because of my memory stuff. And my point of talking about this, which by the way I totally forgot, certain studies say that like you have memory issues and stuff like that if you take it long enough, and people are like, it puts holes in your brain and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, well, relax. But it has been some things that say that it can help with your memory or it could fuck it. So I was like, great. And I've only been on it for like 4 years or so it doesn't make sense really. But at the same time, guess what? Number one, all the studies are on old people. It always says like patients with dementia and stuff like that, or like elderly people who take lamotrigine, their symptoms can get worse, their dementia can get worse. That's on old people. Number two, we still don't know jack shit about women. We need to talk about this. It pisses me the fuck off. Oh my god, I think about it so much. It makes me so mad, and I've already talked about this in one of my videos. The one where I'm on the floor in pain, and I get so fucking pissed off because we don't know jack shit about women's bodies. That's why there's always a I take a little grain of salt with any study that I hear about anything having to do with women, because we don't know. Even my own doctors don't know shit. They just up and tell me like, yeah, we actually don't know jack shit about anything. Even my gynecologists who specialize in women's anatomy, they don't know either. They are going off of very little knowledge that we have as a civilization of all cultures. Mostly American, obviously, because we're in America. We don't know jack shit, dude. It's fucking crazy. And that's the society we live in. Not just this country, just everywhere. God, dude, sometimes it's just like, this is why I got this weird thing going on lately where I'm just like, I don't know how to deal with my reality other than escape. Which was an issue because I was smoking a lot of weed for a while. Just like a little bit. Especially like February this year. I remember February this year. I was under a lot of stress. I was smoking a bunch of weed. Dude, I was smoking weed like every day. Because I just had to escape from the reality that it was seasonal depression. And I'm scared this year, dude. Seasonal depression hit me hard this year. Because it wasn't, what happens is, it gets
very much a reason why, especially as I say later on, there's quite a gender.
Seasonal depression this year. Last year, especially, dude. Wait. Oh, I got something to show you, dude. Wake me up when September ends. First of all, traditional drawing I'm working on. Looks good? Boom. I don't like the legs. They're too fucking short. And I don't know. Maybe, I think I gotta make the calves smaller. Maybe that's it. I gotta, like, make the calves lower. But, this is my friend's journal. And, she let me borrow it. By the way, y'all, this is fucking crazy, but I wrote a poem about Evan a long time ago in, when was that? Is this August? Yeah, 8 is August, right? August, September, October, November, December. I think it's August. I was crying. Actually, look at this banger anime pic of me crying. That's good, dude. I don't draw traditionally anymore because I want to get better at digital, so I never draw traditionally, but come on, dude. A little art reveal here. I didn't finish this one. I don't know when I started making this, but I got this weird eyelash thing going on where the eyelashes are super long. It's kind of banger, right? Like, I don't even remember drawing this, but I know this is me. Wake me up when September ends. Hold on a minute. Here it is. I remember making this. Oh, it has a date. 4/10/25. This was like right coming up to my psycho bits. This is a drawing. I really love art during these stages of my life because it really shows the mental state that I'm in and like how coherent and like how I'm expressing myself at this time. April was rough this year, dude, because it was so cold. I just wanted to go outside and experience sunlight again, and it was so fucking cold. And I was so done because the cold months, they last way too long in Connecticut, dude. It's cold. November, October's okay sometimes. But this year I think was particularly cold, so it was like October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. This many cold months, I was starting to fucking lose it. I just could not go outside because it was so cold. I remember talking to Evan, and he was like, were you fucking, because it was like April, and I was trying to explain to him how cold it was, and he was like, you need to go outside because, because it was April, it's not cold in April. I remember being jack fucking cold in April, and I know it because if you go on my Instagram, April, I think it was like 23rd, it was like Earth Day or something. It was like the first post I made in a while because I was so excited because I was actually fucking happy. I was outside. I was able to go outside. I made an Instagram post about it. That's how happy I was. I don't post on Instagram anymore. I want to. I keep trying to, but it's so much work because I gotta edit my photos because I can't edit them in Instagram anymore because Instagram will crash. Maybe I should try and do that tonight. Maybe I should post about something. Wake me up when September ends. I wonder when I eventually get Alzheimer's, will I still be able to sing? You can't make art, apparently. With some people, some people who have tried to, some artists who get, dementia, they don't know how to draw self-portraits anymore. Or, anything, really. It's kind of crazy. That sucks. So, but that's also cognitive decline in general, and not just memory. If I lost my memory, I'd be chill. I'd be chillin'. I'd rather lose my memory and have like a second, I'd rather have amnesia. That's the right word. I'd rather have amnesia than have dementia or Alzheimer's, because you lose everything there. At least with memory loss, you still got other things. You still got your personality, you got your talents, you just don't know how to utilize them, which sucks. It sucks. But at least I could still draw, still sing, I could still walk around and stuff. I mean, except like I have to be accompanied by someone at all times, but like better than having Alzheimer's. Terrible, terrible disease. And it runs on my dad's side of the family. So, honestly though, kind of surprised he doesn't have it. I don't know how long his dad lived. I think it was like 60 something, or maybe 70. My dad's memory's really bad, dude. It's like really noticeable. And dude, I just like, it's crazy. Cause like I don't have a good relationship with my dad, but seeing him how he is now, I just can't help but remember like, actually, you know what? It's hard to remember at this point. It's hard to remember times where he wasn't like this. A time where he was happier. It's really hard to remember that far because it's been a long time. It's been many, many, many years since he was out doing stuff. It was up until his heart attack that he was a functioning member of society, really, and he wasn't insane. And he was racist, but at least he was like not like isolated racist, you know? Like, once you get isolated and you only watch Fox News and conspiracy videos, you start spiraling really fast. So, I had a moment the other day. For some reason, we've been having issues with insurance. I can't get insurance because something with my dad. I don't know, I blacked it out, dude, because it's been stressful. And I woke up not yesterday, I woke up a few days ago, and he was yelling, and I could not understand what he was yelling about, because I just woke up. I thought he was yelling at my uncle, because they yell about politics a lot, and it's really bad. Dude, oh my god, just a side tangent real quick, it'll be short. My uncle, he's got own personal issues, and one day he called my dad, he called the house phone, and he was on a psychotic rambling thing. I don't know if he was drunk or if he was on drugs or anything like that, because he does that sometimes. He's got other issues. He was freaking out, and he started talking about politics, and my uncle's, he's a liberal. He has liberal views. He's not even fucking radical, dude. And he called my dad, and he was just like, blah, 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 about whatever. And my dad knew that he was having an episode, and he was acting erratically, and he cannot be engaged with properly. And my dad was like, he decided that he should argue with my uncle, that he should argue with him about politics while he's in this state of disarray. And it's just like, oh, I was like, Dad, why did you do that? And he said, I had to defend my president. I was like, no. I was like, you're that delusional. That's fucking crazy. You can't think about the health of anyone else other than your insane ramblings. He's not coming for you, Dad. He's not gonna save you. When there's no one else to speak out. You know what they say? They came for the Muslims. I didn't say nothing because I was a Muslim. They came for the Mexicans. I didn't say anything because I was a Mexican. When they came for me, there was no one else to speak out. It's true. The way I'm saying it implies that only Muslims and Mexicans exist, but you know what I mean, right? My dad's sleeping in the next room, by the way. Anyway, side tangent, that was fucked up. But I woke up the other day, and he was yelling at this poor kid on the phone about insurance, and the thing was, even though I really don't like that he was yelling at this poor kid, he was very coherent, and he was like, this is my wife and daughter you're talking about, this is their well-being, this is their insurance and stuff like that, and they shouldn't go out without health insurance and stuff like that. And like, he was making sense, and he was like upset, but he was making sense about something, and I was kind of shocked. And the thing was, he was like, they hung up, and he was like, blah, 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 about it, and he turned on Frank Sinatra. I was in the bathroom, I could hear him singing. He was like singing good. My dad does not sing good, and it sent me back to a time where it was like, it almost felt like my old dad was back, where like he was able to think logically, and he was able to use his memory and everything like that, and he wasn't in this weird decline that he's at. And I just, like, I felt the energy of, like, being transported back to when I was a kid, and it was different back then. And it was just, like, it was so surreal because those moments do not happen for me anymore. And it's just crazy. It's very hard for people to understand, especially so young. Like, kind of having a weird dad like that. It's hard to understand. And sometimes I'm jealous. Like, sometimes I'm like, man, I wish my dad wasn't insane. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, I wish my dad had his memory and stuff like that. But at the same time, my dad is fucking insane. And either way, if he has it or not, he's always picked on me. And he's always made me feel lesser than. He's told me that I'm not going to make a difference in life. He's told me bad things and tried to scare me into doing what he wants. He's not the best person. So that's why at the same time, it's like, it is what it is, you know. I don't have, like, a strong father figure in my life. Mentally and emotionally. He's caused me a lot of pain and a lot of trauma. So, unfortunately, we just cannot get along because he is very confrontational. I am non-confrontational, okay? Dude, if you fuck up with me, like, how do you do that? I don't want to be one of those people where I'm like, I'm a kind-hearted soul and I don't do anything wrong. But, like, I don't fight with anyone. But my dad is the one person who can make me upset and make me fight. And it's just like... So, yeah. I guess this has been kind of like a catch-up video. I used to make those catch-up videos, guys. That's fun. But unfortunately, no one watches videos this long, so... That's okay. I've always been talking to myself. You know, when I made videos back then, no one was watching. No one ever watched those videos. Maybe a friend would like watch one and they'd get bored. So I've always made videos for me, just to get it out a little bit. My throat's starting to hurt from talking so much, and it just helps get it out. Just helps to pretend that someone's listening, or I have this huge audience or something. So yeah, so that's where we at. That's where life is at right now. Yeah, things have been okay. I'm a little nervous about Christmas season and working in this grocery store, god damn it. And I'm gonna be here for at least another year while I'm in college, just working a little bit. I love my boyfriend dearly. Dude, I'm so tired, but that's another thing, dude. I don't know why. I don't know why this happens. My dad likes Evan. It's not an Evan thing. It's not anything about him. But every single time, without fail, I'm like, I come from work and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Evan's house tonight. Or he'll ask me in the morning, like, you have plans today? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm probably going to hang over with Evan today. We both got the day off. He'll be like, okay, if you have to leave. And I'm like, Dad, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's like he hates that I'm an adult. He hates that I can make my own decisions. And I don't even understand because it's not like we hang out. It's not like me and my dad are buds, dude. I'm always upstairs. He's always sleeping. He's downstairs. I'm trying to not listen to the crazy bullshit he likes. And for some reason, every single time. Like, it was the other day, I had 2 days off. I was so excited. I told him about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna hang out with Evan, you know, just because I love Evan and I love my boyfriend. And before he even said anything, I was like, yeah, I got 2 days off. He was like, you should take this time to just be on your own and just, like, relax and, you know. And I was like, Dad, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to keep me home. I don't know why he does it, except my only theory is my dad's a chronic worrier. I think he's very anxious about me for some reason getting hurt. Possibly because, just like literally just like anything happening because I'm outside of the home and he can't control what's going to happen. At least he doesn't have the illusion of being able to control what happens. Or it's because of my old trauma, and he's afraid that if I'm not in the house, then I could be abused again. I think it's probably got something to do with it. I keep trying to tell him, Dad, I'm my own adult. You have to trust me to make my own decisions. He takes it harder probably than me. At least now, with coping with, he has a lot of guilt about me being abused and not doing anything. It's really hard to explain the stuff and why things happen the way that they do. But yeah, he guilt trips me all the fucking time about leaving. It's so draining and annoying. Because I just want to be out on my own and do my own stuff and not have my dad fucking guilt trip me all the time for wanting to do my own stuff and be happy. I don't like it. So. I applied for my college, by the way. I didn't get anything back yet, but they usually take a while. So, pretty confident I'm gonna get into this one particular college because I've gotten in twice before. But yeah, it's just some positive news there. Got that out of the way, felt a lot better. Because I was really stressed out in October with the insurance and applying for college mostly. That was my big thing. The college, it was freaking me out. But that's done now, so that's good. Oh, today's my second month anniversary with Evan. We made it to 2 months. So that's nice. Yeah. Alright. Well, I have 1 minute of battery life left, so. Yeah, also, old videos, I'm deleting them because I was having a fucking meltdown. And I realized, you know, my YouTube channel is supposed to be about my journey. I pretty much only post the bad stuff now. Because I just, like, I need to get it out. But I don't post the good stuff, so it just looks like my life is, like, perpetually bad. So I just don't need that on there. Maybe I'll just, like, private it instead of delete it, but. Yeah. Well, my tonsils are exploding because I've been talking so much, so. I'm probably gonna go to sleep. Upload this video. And, oh. Okay, it's about to stop recording because I'm on 0 minutes of battery, but. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye, me, for making this video, even though no one's watching.